Hello, welcome to Tuesday's tarot tutorial video. In this video, I would like to talk about the cards that represent the planets in the tarot. In part one of this planetary series, I talked about how the sun is our cosmic father and the moon is our cosmic mother, and I also touched upon concepts related to the moon's intensity, as seen in the Tower, Death, High Priestess, Hierophant, and Justice cards. In part two of this planetary series, titled 108 Sacred Mathematics of Astrology, I discussed the spiritual mathematics of astrology seen through the Sun, Moon, and Saturn cards, and particularly how they create the sacred number 108. I also briefly talked about the concept of non-attachment as seen through the High Priestess and Tower cards. If you haven't watched the first two videos in this series, please do so, as they are relevant to what I will be talking about here. You can find them in my Tuesday's Tarot tutorial playlist. So for those of you who aren't familiar, the star card represents many things, such as hope, faith, guardian angels, timing, etc. But one of the main indicators of the star card is astrology. We literally have the stars representing astrology in this card, and here we can see that there are 7 stars around this main star, which is the sun, and I believe that the 7 stars around it are the 7 classical planets. Could also be the Pleiades. Either way, this card indicates that in astrology, the planets are just as important as the stars or constellations that they are in. So simply, the planets are, the sun is the sun, the moon is the moon. Although some people have the moon card representing Pisces and the High Priestess card representing the moon, for me, it is interchangeable because there is a crescent moon that we can see here at the High Priestess's feet, and she does represent that hidden, mysterious, feminine, goddess-type energy of the moon as well. So either way, the moon can be the moon. I do tend to prefer the moon card as representing the moon as a planet or luminary. Then we have the Magician as Mercury, the Empress as Venus, the Emperor as Mars, the Wheel of Fortune as Jupiter, the World as Saturn, the Tower as Uranus, the Hanged Man as representing Neptune, and the Death card as representing Pluto. Although some readers have the Death card representing Scorpio and the Judgment card representing Pluto, because there is an element of rebirth that comes along with the meaning of judgment, which is just as applicable to the meaning that Pluto carries as well. I do prefer Death to represent Pluto, however. And that's just, I guess, my own personal preference, but either way, whatever speaks to you. So now, as I talked about in the previous video of the planetary cards part 2, I do see the Tower as representing K2, the south node of the moon, as it is about detachment, loss, separation, and letting go. Not only does the Tower have the shock value of Uranus, but it also severs and dematerializes things. We can see the lightning bolt here as representing electricity, which is very much a Uranian thing. The electric storm of Uranus would indicate technology as well. However, the visual representation of this card doesn't necessarily suggest technology. How you view this card's signification depends on what system you really prefer. So, Western tropical astrologers tend to consider the outer planets, which is Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, over the lunar north and south nodes. In tropical astrology, the north and south nodes are not referred to as Rahu or Ketu as they are referred to as in Vedic astrology. So in Vedic astrology, astrologers put more importance on Rahu and Ketu and don't traditionally tend to use the outer planets as much because they are considered generational planets that aren't part of the 7 classical planets that move faster and can be seen with the naked eye. So either way, the tower would represent either Ketu, the south node of the moon, or the planet Uranus, maybe even both. Coming from the Vedic astrology perspective, I see the Devil card as representing Rahu, the north node of the moon, for a few reasons. For one, the mythology of Rahu is a demon who stole the nectar of immortality from the gods when he drank it, and he became immortal as well. His head was severed from his body, but he still lived. The energy of Rahu is the materialistic, power-hungry, greedy, addictive, hedonistic, and obsessive energy that humans are afflicted with. All of the things that Rahu represents is seen as the devil's characteristic meaning. Plus, we see all of the darkness around this demonic figure here in the center that is sometimes referred to as Baphomet. I don't really know much about that because I'm not really into the darkness or the dark arts, but I've heard references by some heavy metal fans and people who claim to be into witchcraft, and which, by the way, I also think that witchcraft is what Rahu also represents. It also represents that, not only that, but weirdos, social taboos, eccentric natures, and crazy people. So Rahu does represent a lot of things, and I feel like this Devil card really depicts that energy the most, accurately. Well, this has been fun. So I think I'm going to end the planetary series here. If you have any questions about the planetary cards or want to add any observations, I welcome your insight. So feel free to comment below. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you found this information useful and entertaining. Thank you for liking and sharing this video and for subscribing to my channel.